With the brand new Genshin Impact hitting the gaming community with tremendous force, I had to sink my teeth into this. I knew this ever since I stumbled upon this game in late 2019, but I had been truly shocked to see how just extreme the reaction to this game has been. So with some hours in my hands and a bit of experience, I find it only proper to do a little first impressions video to hopefully give you a better idea of the game and help you answer the question of, should I play this? So, without further ado, let's get started. For this first impressions video, I will be splitting my critiques into 5 different categories: graphics, gameplay, music, narrative, and monetization. First and foremost, I'm going to start with graphics. The first thing that you will see, of course, are the graphics. Genshin Impact's graphical style is explicitly anime styled with a vibrant color palette. Some people will have staunch polarized opinions when it comes to distinct art styles that are, quote, cartoonish or styled like anime, so this graphic style might not be for you. Though, if you do not have any exclusive reservation to the art style, or genuinely enjoy the art style, you shall be more than comfortable playing through Genshin Impact on a visual level. As for the graphics and how they translate to the performance of the game, from my end, I'm playing on a computer with 8 gigs of RAM, an NVIDIA GTX 970, and an Intel i7 4790K. With my rig, the game runs quite smoothly and comfortably, though there are minimal incidents of frame dipping, just a little bit, or slight lag. The one option in the menus that noticeably affected my frames was the, quote, render resolution option. And I would bargain to say that the shadow quality option would also as well, as shadows are quite taxing in most games, at least from my experience. Overall, with slight downturns in graphic options, most moderate PCs should be able to have a comfortable experience running and playing through Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact's combat system is some of the most fluid and satisfying combat that I have personally played with in some time. It is grounded in the fundamentals of action combat, but expands this with a character swapping system and an intricate elemental interaction system. Think Pokemon. First and foremost, the combat starts with one character, the player's choice of the male or female twin, and works with the left mouse button being the basic attack chain. Clicking cycles through a standard combat chain, but holding it down will charge it up with a stronger, different attack. The E key allows the player to use a special elemental attack with a cooldown, while the Q key allows for an elemental burst, a much stronger attack that requires resources to be built up through combat. In a single sense, the combat is easy to pick up, but becomes more challenging to master when you take into account the character swapping out and in, along with the elemental interactions. In single player, you can have access to up to 4 characters to smoothly swap to while in combat, without breaking the flow of it. Each character may hold new abilities and different elements. Now, the player will have access to at least 16 different combat actions at any given time. It is further compounded when looking at the elemental interactions. Certain elements will interact with others to create combo fields, debilitating effects on enemies, or burst them with further damage. Overall, the combat system in Genshin Impact is stellar and leaves much more room for further expansion, with any new characters being added to the game. There is also a multiplayer option once players reach Adventure Rank 16, but new players don't really need to worry about that too much. Ambient sounds, skill and spell effect noises, character dialogue, and of course the game's soundtrack infuse a special kind of life into Genshin Impact. With such attention to the sound design, I began to feel more and more at home and invested into the game while I was playing. I find Genshin Impact's music and sound design to be very cutesy and chibi, if I may use such words to describe it, but it just so happens to be very pleasing to my ears. And this does not mean that the music can't get to be intense or energetic. It sure can, but it still retains that Genshin feel. As a note, it is also possible to change the voice actor lines between English and Japanese in the options, so use that information as you may. I personally enjoy the Japanese voice actors just a little bit, and it feels more like quality, but you know. Moving on to the next topic. A good mystery and clashing of groups is essential to most gripping narratives, and Genshin Impact surely delivers such tension, at least so far in my playthrough. This concept of being a twin who was banished away from the other in a heavenly-esque fight is quite cool and puts the character in an already powerful position. So I was quite interested to see how this character would develop in a strange new land where no one really knew them. To be succinct, the main character has developed too quickly in my opinion, and the other characters of the world were automatically drawn to them and revere them as the highest knight of the town after a couple dungeon runs. This makes little to no sense, as it was just not the main character, but a group of characters venturing to these dungeons to manage the current threat together. Yet they all put the praise on the main character, the twin. I know that they have to keep the story moving, but it happened so quickly and quite jarring that I noticed it. It did not feel organic whatsoever. Typically, you don't want people to notice such staunch, dramatic changes in character. I thought the concept of the main character holding power was cool, but I would have liked to see the new world they were in take more time to trust them and revere them and get used to them, as they didn't really do too much to earn such praise. Despite this, the RPG elements of the game are still very enjoyable, with some decent cinematic instances here and there. I still am early in the narrative road, but overall I'm really enjoying it, apart from the minor grimace of the character, all that stuff, as I'm still finding myself wanting to go back and continue on in the adventure. Also, that Timmy character on the bridge. Oh boy. Sorry, bud. I hope your dad gets back from errands soon. What are you doing? You're scaring the pigeons away. There are no pigeons. It was raining. There's not much I can do about it now. They'll be back. They do come back usually, but what happens if one day they leave and never come back? Just like Daddy. I'm not equipped to handle the situation. Thanks for coming to the stream, everyone. What the? Genshin Impact is a free video game that anybody can download and pick up. So with this model of it being free, the company does need to have a way to make returns on their product. That is where the gacha elements of this game come into play. By using a currency that is in-game, you are able to wish for new heroes and weapons. However, these currencies may take some time to accumulate just by playing the game. So, if one wants to wish a multitude of times, they may have to go into the in-game cash shop to buy their particular currencies. This does cost real-world money. Additionally, there may not be a guarantee of getting a desired hero or weapon, so there's a bit of gambling to this system. Despite this, it's still an option, and it's not by any means a requirement. It is simply there for people to make a decision if they do want to drop some money into this solid game. And quite honestly, I could see myself throwing a couple dollars at this game to show my support. But, of course, I'd still advertise for restraint. Make sure that you can take care of yourself first before you start giving away freely. Thank you for watching my very first video on Genshin Impact, my first impressions video. All in all, to answer the question, do I think you should play Genshin Impact? I think absolutely. I don't think you have anything to lose other than time. Now, if you don't have a lot of time, I totally respect that. But Genshin Impact is free. All you need to do is go over, make an account, and download. You might find yourself really enjoying the game. I have myself. I do think Genshin Impact will be growing exponentially if the current trend continues and the current hype continues. I could see Genshin Impact being a really big name in the gacha world and also just the video game world in general. I'm very excited for more patches, and there's been leaks of the next patch that's coming, and I'd love to see more multiplayer aspects of the game. As for possible recommendations, I would love to see more options in terms of camera control and combat, and also an option for a window borderless option, because it's currently really hard to do it. You have to go into the code and files, and it'd be wonderful if it was just patched into the game, you know? But overall, I think Genshin Impact is a really strong game right out of the gate, and I would love if you tested it out. Maybe comment down below your thoughts if you've been thinking about it. Hopefully this left a good impression. But you guys have been on the internet long enough. You guys know what to do. I have links down below in the description. Thank you to my wonderful patrons for helping me make these videos and supporting me. If you would like to see more videos from me and keep the videos coming, hit me up on Patreon or PayPal to leave it tipped, you know. But you guys have been on the internet. I trust you guys. Subscribe, like, comment your thoughts. Don't hold back. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye. Mwah.